Welcome to Light Hat Security. In this video, we are going to cover the basics of encryption and why it is so important. This topic is a bit more advanced than the others and is meant to be more informative than practical. If you've seen our videos on passwords, then you may remember us talking about authentication. Simply put, this is proving that a person is who they say they are. This is important in the digital world because there is a tremendous amount of information out there, but often only certain people should have access to it. Passwords are often used to prevent someone from having access to information that they shouldn't have. But what if someone found a way around the password? The information would be at risk, wouldn't it? It turns out that most information stored on a computer or transmitted over the internet can be easily accessed by anyone with physical access to the computer or who might intercept the transmission. So in order to safeguard important data, both in transit and in storage, encryption is used to hide such information. In its most basic form, encryption scrambles a message or some other data so that to an outsider, it looks like gibberish and is therefore unusable. Here's an example. Let's say you and a friend are passing notes in class and don't want anyone else to read your secret messages. So you meet with your friend before class and agree on a way to code your messages. You will move every character in your notes 3 letters down the alphabet. So the letter A is now D, B is now E, and so on. Writing hello there in your encrypted message would look like this to anyone reading it. But since your friend knows the key, move every letter 3 down, they're able to reverse the process or decrypt your message to its original form. The key is a crucial part of encryption. If someone was able to figure out that your key was to move every letter down by 3, they would be able to read all of your secret messages just as easily as you could. Thankfully, encryption is almost always taken care of automatically and behind the scenes in the digital world. It also involves extremely complicated algorithms handled by the computer, so we don't need to worry about it. But it is still important that these keys are kept secret and secure to maintain information security. One of the most famous early uses of electronic encryption was the Enigma machine used by the German armed forces in World War II. We don't have the time to go into any depth here, but it really is a fascinating topic. In fact, 2 Hollywood blockbusters, The Imitation Game and U-571, were made about the Allied quest to break the Enigma code. We've given you a basic overview of what encryption is, and we'll now go over the common ways encryption is implemented using computers. There are 2 main types of encryption, symmetric and asymmetric. First, let's look at symmetric encryption, which is much easier to understand. Symmetric encryption is just like our simple example with the note in class. It is essentially scrambling a message in a way that it can be reversed by doing the opposite math. So to scramble our message, we subtracted 3 from each letter of the alphabet. But to unscramble the message, all you have to do is add 3 back to each letter, and you have the original message. Once again, algorithms used by computers are much more complicated than this, but the idea is the same. You use math to mess up the message, and then reverse the math to get it back to its original form, assuming you have the key. Symmetric encryption is fine for storing data, provided you're using a strong algorithm, but it's not very helpful for transmitting data because both of you need to know the key. Unless you are able to meet the other party in person to give them the key, which is often impractical if not impossible, the key could be intercepted by someone listening in on your transmissions. This leads us to asymmetric encryption. As the name suggests, asymmetric encryption is not reversible in the same way that symmetric encryption is. Asymmetric encryption has 2 keys that are used instead of just one. A public key that anyone can know, and a private key that the owner keeps very secure. Say that 2 people want to share encrypted messages. They will each take each other's public keys, combine them with their private keys, and create a new key that is impossible for an outsider to get. The main takeaway from asymmetric encryption is that it allows two parties to secretly agree on a key so they can use symmetric encryption on the rest of their transmissions, all without ever having to meet in person. To learn more about how this works, look up the Diffie-Hellman key exchange. As we said at the start, this video is more informative than practical, but we hope that you enjoyed it and learned something in the process. Thanks for watching.